Amazon.com. Innovation that excites.
The News at 10 on 2 Works for You starts right now.
Hundreds of people in Wagner still without power tonight. How soon will power be restored, and how one family is coping in the dark tonight? Plus,
the feelings were going all over the place, and you can feel the kids, they're looking at you, and it was pretty good.
One coach's battle with a rare blood cancer brings 2 rivals together. How they're raising sportsmanship to a whole new level. First at 10, a long and miserable night for hundreds still in the dark in Wagner, all thanks to an asphalt truck that ripped down a power line earlier today. You saw repairs as they were happening during our breaking news coverage at 5. 2 News reporter Nathan Edwards live right now with one family's harrowing story.
Well, right now, power is back on here at the substation, but around 500 families are still without power, and may be until the morning. A power line still hangs on Ray and Deborah Dossett's fence. It came crashing down around 11:30 this morning when an asphalt truck hit a pole while paving the street.
It was like the house was getting hit with something, something big, like it was being pushed on a little bit, and just felt it shake a little bit.
The circuit box ripped off the side of their home, joining 3,000 customers without power, 1/3 of Wagner's population.
They said we'd probably have power in the morning.
The city's Public Works Department hopes to have power on sooner than that, but they have a lot to fix. When the truck hit the line, it sent volts back to the substation, causing breakers to burst and equipment to melt.
It's inconvenient because I ain't got no electric and can't got no hot water and got no nothing,
Ray and Deborah will likely be the last to have their lights back on. They did get a new circuit box, but unfortunately it's not connected. It won't be until tomorrow.
Well, I'm going to my RV. I don't think a whole lot about it because I got to leave.
Well, so far, power's been restored back to 80% of the homes. I'm told that crews will continue working throughout the night so they can get most of them back on by sunrise. Reporting live tonight in Wagner, Nathan Edwards, 2 News Works for You.
Thank you, Nathan. Another breaking news update tonight. We first told you about Tulsa police investigating a body found downtown on 2 News at 6. Tonight, the state medical examiner has the remains. They're hoping an autopsy will explain how the 40-year-old died. There is some indication that foul play could be involved. Police found the man's body under a bridge at 13th and Boston. The state school superintendent candidates battling for your votes tonight. The 2 top candidates facing off in another debate. During OETA's debate, the 2 agree that they're glad to see an end to common core standards, but differ on how to achieve success with the new PASS standards for students. Democrat John Cox wants teachers brought in to develop clear and better standards.
We want high standards, and we're intelligent enough in Oklahoma that we can look across the other states and actually have a level higher than what they're having, have international standards, have something that our students can go anywhere in the world and be prepared.
Republican Joy Hoffmeister says educators are successful, but not everywhere in the state.
So with standards, I recognize that our graduation rate is too low. Our remediation rate is too high, and there is a skills gap that continues to widen. So these standards need to address those challenges.
Now, if you didn't get to see the debate tonight, we sat down with both Hoffmeister and Cox, hear from both of them and candidates in other races on kjrh.com/vote. Now, you can cast your vote as early as this Thursday and Friday from 8 in the morning until 6 in the evening at the Tulsa County Election Board. They're also open on Saturday from 9 until 2. And right now is a very good time to download our app so that you can have access to election results wherever you go Tuesday night. Search 2 Works for You in the app stores to get the latest results, news, and live streams from the watch parties. It's almost Halloween, but drivers who use the bridge on Highway 412 over 151 outside Sand Springs are looking forward to a little less spooky commute tomorrow morning. The hole opened up in the middle of the bridge this morning. ODOT says last night's rain loosened the concrete, and when cars started driving over it, a huge hole opened up. 4 cars in the repair shop tonight. ODOT calls today's event a maintenance issue.
It's not something that is structural in nature that we're concerned that the bridge is going to collapse or that type of thing. If we did have a concern like that, we would take steps to protect the public, keep the public safe.
Going in depth now, this bridge is considered structurally deficient, meaning it's not considered safe and needs replacement. 2 years ago, the governor announced plans to replace all structurally deficient bridges in the state by 2020. A lofty goal, considering 9 years ago, there were more than 1,000 of them in the state of Oklahoma. The 2 News investigators went to work to find out if ODOT is on track.
Absolutely, it's attainable. We're right on target with reducing our structurally deficient bridges to less than 1% by 2020.
Despite this goal, the 2 News investigators uncovered another problem. Hundreds of other dangerous bridges are not even on the list for repair or replacement. Watch as 2 News investigator Marla Carter exposes what isn't being fixed Thursday night on 2 News at 10. And new at 10, earthquake training here in Tulsa. The OSU Center for Health Sciences hosting a 2-day course. They're teaching engineers, architects, and other professionals how to identify potential building hazards before an earthquake and how to evaluate damage after a quake.
And I think just because the awareness of the shaking, even though it's small, has increased the awareness of the public and the community, and that, hey, we ought to be looking at this probably a little bit more closely.
The Oklahoma Geological Survey reports more than a dozen earthquakes in Oklahoma just today. They're all minor with no reports of any injuries or damage. Great sleeping weather tonight, crisp and cool outside. And don't look now, but Brett's tracking the potential for a first freeze later this week in your certified most accurate forecast. Brett?
Hi, Karen. Good evening, everyone. If you leave the windows open tonight, you might be cold by morning or pulling an extra blanket up, especially up to the north. Look at Bartlesville. It's already 42 degrees in Bartlesville. 47 at Veneta, 50 at Pryor, and 47 at Manford. So we have some very chilly air out there. It's just a little warmer down to the south. This represents a 16 to 23 degree difference in the temperature tonight than it was at this time last night. So it's a whole lot cooler under clear skies now and light winds. So the temperatures are going to bottom out around 42 in Tulsa. That means we're going to have colder outlying areas with a near calm wind. Crisp day tomorrow. And if you think this is cold, I'm looking ahead to this weekend, Saturday. In fact, there's new data coming in right now that I'm checking out. And I'm going to see if we can, it looks like we're going to have a freeze Saturday morning, but we'll see just how cold, if that's going to verify. We'll have that coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Brett. A Shakota man faces 10 counts of animal cruelty after authorities rescued dozens of dogs from his home. The McIntosh Sheriff's Office arrested this man, Jackie Welch, after receiving a complaint about animal neglect. Firefighters in hazmat suits helped remove more than 30 dogs from the home, and they were covered in animal waste. A few of the dogs are now at the Shakota Animal Shelter. Volunteers say they're recovering from near starvation and other very serious health issues.
This needed to be, stopped a long time ago because, animals have no voice and they can't help themselves, and so we have to help them.
Jackie Welch remains in jail on a $50,000 bond. Authorities say his home burned down just a few hours after his arrest, so they're now looking into it as a possible arson. Tracking the latest now on the Ebola outbreak. Right now, U.S. Army soldiers returning from West Africa under quarantine in Italy for 21 days. Though today, President Barack Obama spoke out about the same quarantine policies for healthcare workers returning to New York and New Jersey. He says the United States cannot be seen as shying away from the battle against Ebola. The president says the response to Ebola needs to be sensible and based on science. We are learning more about the dramatic explosion of a commercial supply ship aboard a rocket. Take a look at this video. NASA now says a safety officer destroyed the rocket on purpose. They detected a problem about 10 seconds into the launch. Here it goes. At the Wallops Island complex in Virginia, the unmanned spacecraft loaded with 5,000 pounds of non-mission critical gear for the International Space Station. It's a pretty amazing video. This is the first NASA disaster in the post-shuttle era. New at 10, children and seniors will be able to come together for fun in North Tulsa. Mayor Dewey Bartlett and his wife Victoria helping to open a new playground and outdoor senior fitness area today. The playground and fitness stations all built in 6 hours on Saturday with the help of nearly 200 volunteers. The space will also be home to a vegetable garden.
We call it their entrepreneur program. So we're also teaching them how to be a career, give them careers and give them opportunities to learn skills at a young age.
The students will also have a chance to sell the vegetables that they grow. The initiative was coordinated by YouthWorks, which empowers North Tulsa children to serve their community while also having fun.
When I beat this, then I can help somebody else.
A Jenks football coach undergoes his third round of chemotherapy. Supporting him, his 6A opponents. How two rival teams inspired him to help others. And he's a blast from the past. How Roy Clark is still inspiring some local children after all these years.
And check this out, a moonlit evening out there. Nice crescent moon. The temperatures are dropping, but wait till you see how chilly the forecast is for Saturday morning. You're watching 2 News at 10.
John Cox's superintendent salary is $141,000, nearly twice the state average. His teachers, they earn $3,000 below average. John Cox paid his teachers less so he could make more. As a teacher, small business owner, and a mom, Joy Hoffmeister has a positive plan to improve our schools. Joy wants to strengthen academic standards, stop over-testing our kids, increase teachers' pay, and fight Obama's attempt to control our schools. Joy Hoffmeister for Oklahoma State Superintendent.
Who do you trust with Oklahoma's future? Mary Fallon promised to improve our economy, and she did. Taxes lowered, budgets balanced, over 100,000 new jobs created, a forceful advocate for education, adding $150 million in 2 years.
Joe Dorman, a risky choice. Dorman supports an Obama-like agenda of higher taxes and more government. He opposed education funding, and his proposal's been called flim-flam.
Mary Fallon, because no one fights harder for Oklahoma. No one.
It's a great big world, and it can all be yours. Here and only here.
At GMC, incredible thinking is everywhere, like the GMC Sierra, offering the most innovative cargo bed in its class, engineered with the superior strength of rolled steel, and backed by 2 years of scheduled maintenance. During the GMC model year closeout, use your special value pricing to get over $8,800 total value on this specially equipped Sierra. Plus, get 1 year of Sirius XM.
See your Oklahoma GMC team.
This portion of 2 News is brought to you by Mother Nature's Pest Control. The 2 News investigators working for you.
A special award for Tulsa Street School, another accreditation for its outpatient treatment counseling. It's the 4th consecutive year that CARF International awarded the honor to Street School.
And we choose to undergo this in-depth assessment for it. It is a way for us to ensure that we are providing the highest quality of services for the students and families served.
Street School is measured on 1,600 standards, and the school received 0 recommendations for change this year. Officials say that's something only 3% of participating schools manage. Street School is an alternative high school in Tulsa with a therapeutic counseling program. Entertainer Roy Clark dropped by the new learning center at the elementary school that bears his name. Clark spent the afternoon with students who are participating in junior achievement. The kids took the Oklahoma Star through their new BizTown. J.A. BizTown combines in-class learning with a day-long visit to a simulated town. The program allows students to operate banks, to manage restaurants, write checks, and even vote for mayor. And the country singer offered some key words of advice.
This is as good as it's going to get. Don't do one thing wishing you were doing something else. If you want to do something else, do it. But be content and happy with the place you are now. And it'll get better, but only if you work at it now. Make the best today that it's ever been.
The BizTown mayor even presented Clark with a special proclamation to honor his visit.
Storm Shield weather, certified most accurate.
And good evening, everyone. Well, it looks like we've got some chilly nights ahead here across northeastern Oklahoma and Green Country. 40s the next 3 nights, and the first freeze possible Saturday morning. Around 7 a.m., the temperature could be as cold as 30 in Tulsa. Kind of a variance in the computer data that's coming in anywhere from about 30 to 35. But I think it could get mighty cold here Saturday morning. Last year, October 25th, we had our first frost when it dropped to 34, and then our first freeze came in November 7th. So we're right about that time of the year where it should happen. Tonight's going to be a crisp night. We've got clear skies right now. The winds are calm. And look at that, the beautiful crescent moon out over Interstate 44, and it is setting here this evening. 53 degrees right now, the dew point at 45. We can look at that number and kind of gauge where we're going tonight. So somewhere in the mid-40s, maybe even lower 40s, especially away from the city center of Tulsa. Right now in Tulsa, it's 53. Owassa's at 55. Sand Springs is at 60. But I want you to look away from the city. Sometimes the city's holding heat, but away, Catoosa's 49. Jenks is 48. Bixby right now already down to 50 degrees. So those areas will likely be in the lower 40s. Bartlesville could be as cold as 34 tonight. 40 in Muskogee, 40 at Tahlequah, maybe lower to mid-40s down to the south in McAllister. But we've got bigger changes than this coming down the pike, and it's up to the north. We're going to watch this Clipper system here chug at us. So after a nice day tomorrow and a warmer day even on Thursday, we should be in the low to mid 70s on Thursday. This Clipper system comes through, and then this sprawling, look at the size of this thing, sprawling Canadian high pressure system builds in here. Friday afternoon, it's in the 50s or low 60s, and then Saturday morning, the temperature drops. We're kind of on the periphery of this, but the temperatures drop into the low 30s around Tulsa, down to McAllister, even some 30s as far south as Dallas. And then look at Coffeyville, 28 degrees. Fayetteville, 28. Probably Poto and Fort Smith also upper 20s. The bulk of the cold air will be centered over Joplin and Columbia, Missouri. So we're just going to be just outside of the coldest part of that air mass. And then another front stalls here Monday. So Monday and Tuesday, the setup with this stalling front could be for some heavy rain to start next week. Before we go to the forecast, some weather pics from beautiful sunsets. Rachel Renfro sent in this picture. She's 11, sent the picture in from Tulsa. Nice job, Rachel. James Seacrest sent this picture in from the youth football fields in Broken Arrow. Isn't that great with those nice red colors? And then Angel Hudson sent in a picture, almost looks like the Angels created that. Beautiful picture there of tonight's sunset. All right, detailed forecast for tomorrow. Waking up, snappy chill in the air, 44 degrees around 6 a.m., 8 a.m., 46 degrees at the bus stops. The kids will likely need coats. It'll feel warmer in the sun around the noon hour at 65. 70 by 4 p.m. with a light east wind, and then a quick drop tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. We're back down into the middle 50s. Talala, 68 tomorrow. Skytook, 69 for the high. 72 in Okmulgee tomorrow. And down to the south, Holdenville around 73. Henrietta around 72. So it's going to be a nice day. Our 7-day forecast on Thursday, 73. Here comes the front. 60 on Friday. I'm going to go 30 on Saturday, so I'll give us our first freeze. 57 Saturday afternoon, and then the front gets here, stalls Monday and Tuesday. Could be wet and cool. Temperatures in the 60s. I'm thinking chili and soup all ready for the start of next week.
Now, 2 Works for You Sports, driven by your Oklahoma Ford dealers.
Well, Brett, I am believing in that lucky tie. It sure looks like we're going to have a Game 7 in the World Series. Royals leading the Giants in tonight's Game 6. It is 10-0 in the 8th. And welcome into sports, everybody. For college football fans, our Tuesday nights will never be the same. The first ever college football playoff is later this year. The first ever college football playoff poll released earlier tonight. The 12-person committee meeting in Dallas, and if the season ended today, these 4 teams would be playing for it all. Number 1, Mississippi State, 2, Florida State, 3, Auburn, and 4, Ole Miss. Bit of a surprise there. 3 teams from the SEC West. Sheesh. Oregon and Alabama, your first 2 teams out. The Big 12's top team is TCU at number 7. Kansas State checks in at 9. The Sooners still kicking themselves for that 1-point loss for the Wildcats. Baylor is 13. The Bears come to Norman November the 8th, and there's OU, number 18 in your initial college football playoff rankings. Speaking of those Sooners, visiting Iowa State this weekend, it's going to be a reunion as former Sooners offensive coordinator Mark Mangino in his first season calling plays for Iowa State.
Was there any thoughts of bringing Mark Mangino back here after the Kansas deal?
Sure. I'm not going to detail that, but there's, between he and I, there was thought of it. I keep in touch with Mark, so I'm glad he's doing well, and he, he's in the conference, and I'm sure he'll continue to make them better.
Mangino has those Cyclones averaging 27 points per game, program's most in nearly a decade. OU at Iowa State Saturday, 11 a.m. Speaking of reunions, the student has become a teacher. More than 20 years ago, Bill Blankenship was the head coach at Union High School, and Justin Fuente was his star quarterback. This week on a Friday night, the two are going head-to-head as head coaches. Fuente in his third season at Memphis has done a terrific job turning that program around. He and Blankenship remain close, and that makes this matchup no fun.
When I got the conference schedule and you kind of go through, you're like, crap, you know. I kind of hate to, honestly, I mean, you do it, you're going to be professional, you're going to do all that stuff, but, you know, I don't get any joy out of you know, beating people I love.
You know, it's not the most enjoyable thing to go play them because you know what wins and losses mean. So we'll continue as if it's a faceless opponent. It's not about me and Coach B, but that aspect of it is not particularly enjoyable.
Tulsa at Memphis Friday night. That's Halloween. The Golden Hurricane trying to snap a frightful 6-game losing streak. We're back with the Boz. Brian Bosworth next.
It's Trucktober, Ram Truck Month in Trucklahoma. First ever back-to-back Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Champion, best towing, best torque, best payload, best fuel economy. $7,000 off all 2014 regular cabs. $8,000 off all 2014 quad cabs. $10,000 off all 2014 crew cabs. And 0% for 72 months available on all Dodge products. The best deals on the best trucks. South Point Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. East 91st and South Memorial. SouthPointCJD.com.
I have taken the opportunity to do anything and everything that came my way, and I learned something from it, and I took away something from it. My name is Christy Valkmer. I work in television. I'm a children's book author, and I'm Chickasaw. I have surrounded myself with animals. I love animals. I had a rabbit, and I had a bird, and I had a cat, and they were all just coexisting. And I said, I think that's a good lesson for children. I think I'm going to write a book about that. It just shows no matter how different you are, you can live together, you can get along. I'm very proud of my ancestors. I think the things that they overcame, it's just a very enlightening story, and I'm just very proud to be Chickasaw. And so being able to adapt is something that I hope to pass down to my daughter. I want my daughter to know her heritage and know her ancestors and embrace her culture.
See more stories about the Chickasaw people at profilesofanation.com.
Remember us?
Our dad is Lieutenant Governor
Todd Lamb. Every year, Dad visits all 77 counties.
77? Really?
Yup. And everywhere he goes, he's focused on creating jobs.
Great jobs.
So people don't have to leave Oklahoma.
I'm Todd Lamb. We expect to beat Texas in football. We should expect to beat them in creating jobs.
Please vote for our dad, Todd Lamb.
He really likes to beat Texas.
Listen up, sports fans. If you drive a truck, you know it's all about stats. And at the Built Ford Tough Sales event, we've got the numbers right here. Ford Super Duty, best-in-class horsepower and max towing capacity. That's how you punch it right up the gut. And here's another stat, folks. F-Series has been America's best-selling truck for 37 straight years. That's called a dynasty, baby.
During the Built Ford Tough Sales event, get up to $5,000 cash back on Super Duty at your Oklahoma Ford dealer. The best in Oklahoma.
The NBA season tipping off tonight. Defending champion San Antonio getting their rings and then hosting Dallas. Tony Parker scores 23 and he hits the game-winning three-pointer. You win, Spurs, you always do. 101-100. Thunder opens the season tomorrow at Portland. Finally, Brian and the Boz. ESPN airing a new documentary tonight taking a look at the former Sooner, Brian Bosworth, and his time at OU.
The Boz is highly controversial.
Before there was a Dennis Rodman.
He's highly sensational.
Before there was a Deion Sanders.
He's the extreme.
That was a Brian Bosworth.
Somehow, in this bizarre Miami Vice-like time in the 80s, it just worked.
It was cool to be
certainly a great athlete, but it was even more cool to be an entertainer.
That's kind of where the buzz works from. I didn't have a microphone. I had a helmet and a mouthpiece. My stage was a football field.
That was good stuff. That is your Oklahoma Ford Sports Report. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, Daniel Radcliffe is my guest tonight. Plus we got Mike Tyson, music from Sturgill Simpson. You gotta watch. We're on next. It's really good.
Now at Hodge Toyota, every price is lower. Every discount is bigger. Now save $12,000 on a new Toyota Tundra. $12,000 off. Get more for your trade. Pay less for a Toyota. The Toyota clearance event at Hodge Toyota.
Hodge, your life, your ride.
Mary Fallon is my team member.
Mary Fallon and Janet Barisi. A disastrous third-grade reading test, both supporting Common Core. $200 million in cuts to our schools.
And I can tell you who I got walking right next to me, and it's Governor Fallon. She supports everything we're doing. As a matter of fact, she has actually directed me.
Let's end the Fallon-Barisi era by saying no to Mary Fallon.
Some things are not what they appear to be. Other things are exactly what they appear to be. The Lexus IS, as impressive as it looks. Lease the 2015 IS 250 for $359 a month for 27 months. See your Lexus dealer.
So Prosperity Bank offers free checking. Let's take a look. No monthly maintenance fee? Check. No individual check fees? Check. Free debit card? Check. Unlimited withdrawals? Check. Free online banking? Check. Easy access and friendly service? Check. Close to home? Check. Simply free checking from Prosperity Bank is simply free. I'm taking these checks to the bank. Prosperity is the big bank with your community's bank inside. Prosperity Bank, where you find real bankers, not just a bank.
I can't pay a huge medical bill.
I've got complicated Medicare questions.
I need straight answers.
At Community Care, we make planning for your health care and your budget simple. And you'll have access to St. John and St. Francis, two of the area's top health systems. Because finding the right health plan is a conversation that begins with you. So come to a free meeting and find out why nearly 30,000 Oklahomans trust Community Care's senior health plan.
We want stronger families. We want more job opportunities. We want better education for our children. But we don't get that with a big central government in Washington, D.C. If we want to fix Washington, then we'll have Washington do what only Washington should do. It's constitutional responsibility. Families start to actually prosper again. Businesses start to rise again. People start to see opportunity and hope again. Hope does not come from Washington. Hope comes from individual families and from communities and from churches. That's where things turn around. I'm James Langford, and I approve this message.
Now at Hunt's Toyota, every price is lower. Every discount is bigger. New Camrys, just $18,995. Fuel efficiency and safety, just $18,995. Get more for your trade. Pay less for a Toyota. The Toyota clearance event at Hunt's Toyota.
Hodge, your life, your ride.
New at 10, a story thousands of you clicked on, a top trending story on kjrh.com. The Muskogee football team raising money for a rival coach fighting cancer. 2 News reporter Liz Bryant takes us to Jenks tonight to reveal the exchange.
Karen, here at the Jenks football stadium tonight, tears of gratitude flowed. Before the game even started, the Muskogee Roughers handed over about $1,000 to this rival Jenks coach.
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
Only a few words spoken. But all you need to do is watch. The Muskogee Roughers handed over a bucket topped to the brim of cash, coins, and checks to Jenks coach Bryant Caleb. Braylon Duncan asked for the honor.
One time at a track meet, my aunt was having problems. They thought she was having a heart attack. And he stood there the whole track meet. It was their turn to run. And he helped them. He stayed with her and made sure that she was all right. Didn't even walk over there to watch the kids run. Him and his brother both, and I'm thanking both for that.
I think just looking at them is total.
Coach Caleb will use this money for medical bills as he fights multiple myeloma, a rare blood cancer.
You know, being an ex-athlete, you're proud, and you don't want to let that guard down. And and sometimes you have to. Tonight was one of those nights.
Ruffers coach Don Yates asked players to raise the money and tonight wear a one-team sticker with Jinx colors.
And I personally raised over $150 for him. I wanted him to know that we all understand what he's going through and we want to help.
A family of coaches. Caleb's twin brother leading the Jinx sideline tonight, while older brother Coach Gary is a cancer survivor. He sits in the stands with Bryant's wife. Now, Caleb says that he has insurance, but with chemotherapy, blood transfusions, hospital visits, the bills keep piling up, and he doesn't know how much they are. He also doesn't want to know. He's grateful for every penny. Live tonight in Jinx, Liz Bryant, 2 News works for you.
Thank you, Liz. What great sports. In a 2 News follow-up tonight, last week we told you about the Utah community coming together for a week of holidays for a 4-year-old battling cancer. Doctors told Ethan Van Leuven's family he had only a few days to live, and sadly, Ethan died this morning.
Dale.
And I'm Taylor.
And we own a Santa Fe.
Mom drives it, but I'm probably the best driver in the family, so.
The big contender for us was Mercedes SUV. We chose the Santa Fe because of all the features that it had.
There's a lot of space in the back, so it's great for those family road trips.
Safety's #1. This is our family car, and watching out for my daughters is really important to me.
Lease the Santa Fe Sport now for just $249 a month, or get up to $1,750 total savings. Visit buyhyundai.com.
The holidays, countless hours with the family, cackling Aunt Barbara, Uncle Dave who smells the mothballs, the twins, suffer not. So join our family at Osage Casinos, where we're giving away over $100,000 in cash and prizes. 180 guests will win free play, and 10 guests will win $7,000 cash, which sure beats Granny Mae's Jell-O mold. Spend the holidays at our house, Osage Casinos.
For Mark Wayne Mullen, being conservative isn't about politics. It's a way of life. It's about faith and family, our land and liberty, and the America we leave future generations. Here in Oklahoma, Mark Wayne and his wife Christy are blessed with a growing family. Now in Washington, Mark Wayne has 2 more reasons to fight for freedom and the legacy we leave. Mark Wayne Mullen for Congress.
I'm Mark Wayne Mullen, and I approve this message.
Unwrap a fresh new flavor at Subway. The new Hickory Turkey and Bacon Melt. Layer upon tender layer of thin sliced turkey, topped with crispy bacon, melty cheese, and a smoky sweet hickory sauce that puts a whole new twist on a classic taste. Enjoy it handcrafted with crisp lettuce and juicy tomatoes. Or add your touch with baby spinach and zesty peppers on freshly baked honey oat or any bread you like. Experience the fresh flavor of the new Hickory Turkey and Bacon Melt while it's here. Subway. Eat fresh.
Hey, catch me if you can. Psst, over here. It's closeout time on all remaining 2014 Toyotas. Over here.
Fowler is closing out all remaining Tundras. Take $5,000 off and get 0% for up to 60 months.
This way.
Did you know Fowler Toyota is one of the fastest growing Toyota dealerships in the state?
Catch me if you can.
Get to Fowler Toyota, I-44 in the BA.
When you want to know where your tax money is going, contact us at kjrh.com/investigators. Tracking your tax dollars only on 2 Works for You.
All right, crisp night tonight, 42 in Tulsa, maybe 34 up in Bartlesville, then 72 tomorrow, 73 Thursday. I think we could have a freeze here Saturday morning. It is setting up that way. If it's real. System, yeah, it's real. It'll be the real deal.
So many people talking about the weather today, saying they're so glad to see it changing for the cooler. All right. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. Remember to wake up with 2 News today and Elizabeth Bopian at 5 a.m. Good night.